Port Charles will never be the same after Michael's brutal takedown. The sun rose slowly over Port Charles, casting a warm golden hue on the Corinthos estate. But inside the mansion, the air was anything but peaceful. Michael Corinthos stood by the window in the study, staring out across the grounds, arms folded tightly. The once golden boy of Port Charles had transformed. With hardened eyes and a clenched jaw, Michael was a man with a mission, and that mission was vengeance. His enemy had crossed a line, one that couldn't be uncrossed. Just behind him, Dex walked in cautiously. "Everything's in place," Dex confirmed. "He won't know what hit him." Michael didn't respond at first. Then, in a chilling tone, he muttered, "Good. It's time he paid for what he did to my family." Across town, Valentine Cassadine stepped into his penthouse, unaware of the storm that was brewing. Valentine had struck a deal with the wrong Corinthos. He'd thought Michael was softer, more reasonable than Sonny. But after orchestrating a secret deal with pikemen behind Michael's back, using Willow's bone marrow therapy as leverage to threaten her, he'd made himself Michael's enemy number one. Now, Valentine was trying to cover his tracks. He'd paid off doctors, erased files, and even ordered a hit on Dex, one that failed. And that failure would cost him dearly. As Valentine reviewed encrypted emails from pikemen, a knock came at the door. He opened it to find Anna Devane standing there. "We need to talk," she said, her voice tight. Valentine raised an eyebrow. "What about?" "Michael Corinthos. You made a powerful enemy, and he's coming for you." Back at the Quartermain mansion, Willow paced the living room. She had just returned from a visit to GH, where Dr. Randolph confirmed her recovery was holding strong. But her peace was short-lived when Brooke Lynn burst into the room. "Michael's planning something. Something big," Brooke Lynn warned. Willow frowned. "Against who?" "Valentine. He's been digging, tracking pikemen. And I overheard him talking to Brick. Whatever it is, it's revenge." Willow's stomach dropped. She had begged Michael to let it go, to focus on their future, on the children. But Michael had been unrelenting. "They came after my wife," he told her weeks ago. "No one does that and walks away." Willow grabbed her phone and called Michael. No answer. Only a cryptic text followed. "It ends today." In an abandoned warehouse on the docks, a familiar setting for Corinthos justice, Dex stood with Drew, Kane, and Brick. The three men had worked together before. And now, they'd reunited under Michael's command.
Cameras. Chains.
A reinforced steel chair in the center of the room. "He'll be here in 10, Brick said, checking his watch. Just then, Michael arrived, dressed in black, a steel glint in his eyes. "This isn't just about what he did to Willow," Michael said. "It's about the people he's hurt."
Lies.
Manipulations.
Pikemen.
"My father."
Nina.
"Everyone." Drew gave him a long look. "Are you sure about this?" Michael's answer was cold and firm. "He made my family bleed. Now it's his turn." Valentine stepped into the warehouse, lured by a message he thought was from Pikeman's local contact. He barely had time to react when the light snapped on, and Michael stepped into view. "Surprise," Michael said. Before Valentine could run, Drew tackled him. Dex zip-tied his hands. They dragged him to the chair and strapped him down. "What is this?" Valentine demanded. Michael stepped closer. "Justice. Corinthos style." Valentine smirked. "You're not your father." Michael's voice dropped.
"No.
I'm worse." Michael then activated a large screen on the wall, showing footage. Secret videos, audio recordings, text messages. Every betrayal Valentine committed. Every lie. Every innocent life he'd manipulated. And then Michael dropped the real bomb. "I have your daughter." Valentine's eyes went wild. "She's safe.
For now.
But if you ever cross me again, you'll never see her again." Anna burst in, just in time to hear the threat. "Michael, no," she yelled. "This isn't you." But Michael didn't flinch. Maybe it is. As the screen darkened, Valentine was left to stew in shame, rage, and fear. Michael turned to leave. Anna pulled him aside. "You're becoming something dangerous." Michael looked her in the eye. "I became what I needed to protect my family." And if that makes me dangerous, then so be it. Anna's face fell. She knew this wasn't over. Meanwhile, Willow sat at home, holding Wiley close. When Michael walked in an hour later, his suit wrinkled and his expression hollow, she looked up. "What did you do?" she asked quietly. Michael didn't answer at first. Then, softly, "I ended it." News spread quickly. Valentine Cassadine stepped down from ELQ. The board moved swiftly, with Ned reclaiming temporary control. Brooklyn and Lois celebrated the victory, but wondered just how far Michael had gone. Nina, in tears at Metro Court, told Ava. "Michael, he's not the boy who used to call me Aunt Nina." Ava replied darkly, "He's a Corinthos now, and that family always collects their debt." Meanwhile, Dex, shaken by what he'd seen, told Jocelyn. "Michael didn't just beat Valentine. He broke him." Jocelyn shuddered. "And how long before he breaks someone else?" At Sunny's safe house, the Don of Port Charles poured 2 glasses of whiskey as Michael arrived. The 2 men stared at each other. Months of tension, betrayal, and grief between them.
"You did it," Sunny said.
Michael nodded. "He won't come near us again." Sunny studied his son carefully. "And how do you feel?" Michael looked into the glass. "Empty." Sunny nodded. "That's how it starts." The 2 clinked glasses in silence. A bitter truce formed through blood and vengeance. Elsewhere in Port Charles, new enemies began to rise. In a dark apartment, Cyrus Renault watched the warehouse footage on a hacked feed. He smirked. "So Michael wants to play king," Cyrus whispered. "Let's see how he handles a war." At the same time, pikeman operatives regrouped. Their asset, Valentine, was compromised, and a message was sent to Port Charles. Phase 2 initiated. Meanwhile, Willow opened the door to find a mysterious woman holding a folder. "You don't know me," she said. "But this is about Michael, and what he's been hiding from all of you." Willow's hands trembled as she took the file. Inside, a photo of Michael in Buenos Aires, months ago, holding a gun. Michael Corinthos stood alone on the pier. He looked down at the water, where, years ago, his adoptive father had taught him to fish, where Jason once gave him advice, and where he now contemplated what he had become. "Am I still the good guy?" he whispered to the night. Behind him, Dex appeared. "We've got a new problem. Pikeman's retaliating." Michael turned around, and for a split second, the weight of everything he had done caught up with him. "Let them come," he said. "I'm ready." And with that, he walked into the darkness, ready to face whatever came next.